Hi everyone, please subscribe my YouTube channel new more videos. My girlfriend announced, we're done. My new guy's whisking me away to Paris. I responded, have a great trip. She had no idea her new man was my latest intern. I waited until they were on the plane, then texted my intern, you're out. I canceled his company credit card, leaving them both stuck in Paris. My girlfriend of 2 years, Madison, ended things with me last week. She chose our favorite restaurant for the breakup, a gutsy move. I had to sit across from her, keeping my face blank as she methodically tore apart our shared life while the waiter kept refilling my water. She delivered the usual lines. We were on different trajectories, and she craved more excitement and drive in her life. Then came the final blow, the part she seemed thrilled to share. She'd met someone new, an impressive, high-flying guy who was going places. He's taking me to Paris for a week, Alex, she said, her eyes gleaming with a harsh kind of victory. First class, we leave Friday. She was trying to wound me. She wanted me to imagine her being swept off on a romantic European getaway by this superior guy. She wanted me to feel diminished, inadequate, replaced. But I didn't feel any of that. A strange calm settled over me, the kind I get when I'm about to seal a big business deal. As she described her new man, I realized I knew exactly who he was. His name was Leo, my newest intern. Let me give some background because it matters. I'm a vice president at a major global tech company. 3 months ago, we brought in a group of top-tier MBA interns from elite business schools. Leo was the standout, sharp, charming, and ruthlessly ambitious. He was assigned to my team. I saw his potential, but also his overconfidence. He was a risk-taker, someone who thought he was too clever to fail. Because my division handles sensitive projects, I was authorized to issue Leo a corporate American Express card. This isn't standard for interns, but he was on a fast track. The card was for approved expenses tied to an upcoming project involving potential international travel and client meetings in Europe. It had a high limit, and as his direct supervisor and the authorizing VP, I had full control over the account. I was giving him a long leash, testing whether he could handle the responsibility. So when Madison, who earns a modest income, started bragging about first-class tickets to Paris, it clicked. I knew Leo didn't have the personal funds for such a trip. There was only one way he was paying for it. He was misusing the leash I'd given him. I played my role perfectly. I listened to Madison, feigning mild heartbreak and surprise. I even asked, in a soft voice, "What time's your flight on Friday?" She shared the airline and flight number, eager to rub it in. 7 p.m. straight to Charles de Gaulle, she said with a smug grin. That night, while she was at our apartment packing to move out, I was in my home office. I logged into the company's expense portal, and there it was, clear as day. Leo's reckless spending laid bare. Charge 1, 2 first-class round-trip tickets on Air France, $14,500. Charge 2, a week prepaid at a luxury hotel on the Champs-Élysées, $8,200. Charge 3, a $1,000 cash advance from an airport ATM. He was treating the company card like his personal piggy bank. It was bold, foolish, and a career killer. He was betting he could hide the charges or that I wouldn't notice. He was making a terrible bet. When Madison was finally packed and ready to leave my apartment for good, she stood at the door with her bags. She gave me one last pitying glance. "Well, Alex," she said, "I'm off to start my new chapter. My new guy's taking me to Paris." I met her gaze, my face unreadable. "Have a great trip," I said. For the next 2 days, I did nothing. I let them go through their routine. I saw charges for airport lounge access and overpriced snacks pop up on the portal. Then, on Friday evening, I opened a flight tracker website. I watched their flight status shift from at gate to boarding to in the air. I waited until the plane icon was well over the Atlantic, past the point of no return. Then I picked up my phone. I had a text drafted for Leo and a number ready to call. It was time to handle my company's risk and my personal business with precision. The moment the flight tracker showed their plane over the ocean, I put my plan into action. A clean, two-step process executed from my living room. Step 1. The text. I opened the message I'd prepared for Leo. It was brief and crystal clear. Leo, this is to notify you that your employment with the company is terminated, effective immediately, due to gross misconduct and unauthorized use of company funds. Your corporate card has been deactivated. Do not contact me or anyone at the firm. A formal letter outlining your severance. None. And a demand for repayment will be mailed to your address. I hit send. The message went through instantly, though he wouldn't see it for hours, likely somewhere over France. Step 2. The phone call. I dialed our company's 24/7 corporate card support line. A tired agent picked up. I gave my name and executive ID. I need to report a card being used fraudulently and have it shut down immediately, I said, providing Leo's card number. As the authorizing VP, I had full authority. I explained that the employee had been fired and that all recent charges, tickets, hotel, everything, were to be flagged as fraudulent and subject to chargeback. The agent typed briefly. All right, mister. Sterling, he said. The card is deactivated, pending charges are frozen, and a fraud investigation will begin. Perfect, I replied. Thank you for your efficiency. In 5 minutes, I'd fired my rogue intern and cut off his financial lifeline. I pictured what would happen when they landed in Paris. They'd be buzzing with excitement, tipsy from first-class champagne. They'd take a cab to their fancy hotel, stroll up to the check-in desk, and the polite concierge would tap his keyboard, frown slightly, and deliver the news. I'm sorry, sir, but the card used for this reservation has been declined. The booking is no longer valid. Their dream trip would unravel from there. Every plan would collapse. The corporate card in Leo's wallet was now worthless plastic. His personal account, as I knew from his intern pay, couldn't cover even a night in a budget Parisian hotel, let alone last-minute flights home. They were stranded. About 8 hours later, my phone buzzed. A call from an unrecognized number with a French country code. I let it go to voicemail. It rang again. Ignored. Then came a flood of texts from Madison. Alex, what did you do? The hotel won't let us check in. Leo's card is declined everywhere. He says you canceled it and fired him. Is this a prank? This isn't funny. We're stuck with no money. Fix this. You owe me. I read the messages, a cold sense of fairness washing over me. Owe her? I owed her nothing. After a dozen more frantic texts, I sent one reply. This is an issue between you and your ambitious new guy. As I said, have a great trip. Or rather, enjoy your vacation, I sent it, then blocked her number and erased her from my digital life entirely. Soon after, her friends started texting me, clearly fed a one-sided sob story. What you're doing to Madison is cruel, one wrote. There's been a huge misunderstanding. You need to help them. I didn't respond. I blocked them too. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a consequence. Madison had tied herself to a guy who built a fantasy on theft and arrogance. I simply exposed it in the most undeniable way. They were now in a 5-star city with a $0 budget, left to deal with the mess they'd made. On Monday, I handled the formalities at the office. I met with HR and my boss, the executive VP, and laid out the facts calmly, presenting printouts from the expense portal. The timeline of charges, first-class tickets, luxury hotel, all for personal use. I terminated Leo's internship Friday evening after confirming the fraudulent activity, I explained. I also deactivated his card to prevent further misuse and protect the company. They were serious, but fully behind me. My boss patted my shoulder. Smart move, Alex. You acted fast to safeguard our assets. This kid was trouble. Better to catch it now than when he's handling client data. HR finalized the paperwork, blacklisting Leo from our company and its affiliates. My quick response was noted in my file as strong leadership, not a personal grudge. I was curious about how Madison and Leo got out of their Parisian mess. A week later, I heard through a colleague's friend who knew one of Madison's friends. The story was pure humiliation. After failing to reach me, Madison had to make desperate, tearful calls to her parents, admitting her glamorous Paris trip with her new guy had collapsed because he'd been funding it with a stolen card. Her parents, after what was likely a brutal lecture, wired her just enough for 2 last-minute, one-way economy tickets home, probably with a long layover in somewhere like Iceland. That flight back must have been painfully silent. Back home, Madison, now broke and humiliated, tried to hit back. Unable to attack me professionally, she went personal, spreading nasty rumors to anyone who'd listen. She called me a jealous, manipulative monster, claiming I'd been emotionally abusive for years and fired Leo out of spite because I couldn't handle her leaving for a better man. She also tried a financial angle, sending a lengthy, obviously ghost-written email demanding I return all gifts she'd given me during our relationship and claiming a share of my assets for her emotional contributions to our life together. She listed furniture, art, and electronics, all items I'd purchased before she moved in. It was a weak move. I didn't reply. I forwarded the email to my lawyer, who sent a sharp cease and desist letter. It stated I owed her nothing, included receipts proving my ownership of the items, and warned that she was complicit in Leo's fraud by joining the trip. While the company wasn't pursuing her yet, further harassment or defamation could prompt me to recommend they reconsider her as a co-conspirator. It was a checkmate. Threatening her personally would have been pointless, but the weight of a multi-billion-dollar company's legal team was undeniable. The rumors stopped. The emails stopped. Silence followed. 4 months have passed since the Paris fiasco, and the full consequences for Madison and Leo have crystallized. Their story isn't a happy one. Leo's career isn't just derailed, it's destroyed. The company's legal team sent him a demand letter for every cent he fraudulently charged, $24,000. He had 30 days to set up a payment plan or face a lawsuit. HR also sent a letter to his business school's dean, detailing his termination for financial misconduct. An MBA's value lies in reputation and connections. His are now toxic. No reputable firm will touch someone fired for fraud. His promising career ended before it started. As for Madison, her life since her brief Paris adventure has been a slow-motion disaster. Her relationship with Leo, built on his big talk and my company's money, fell apart within a week of their return. Jobless, disgraced, and buried in debt, Leo was no longer the dynamic man she'd left me for. He was a burden. They split. Madison broke from the flight home, publicly dumped by the guy she'd left me for, and effectively homeless since her name was never on my lease, had to move back in with her parents. In her late 20s, she's back in her childhood bedroom, her Parisian fantasy now a suburban nightmare. A month ago, she sent one last email from a new address, a long, self-pitying ramble blaming me for ruining her life while vaguely apologizing for how things ended. It was the classic dodge of someone refusing to own their choices. I read it, felt nothing, deleted it, and blocked the address. For me, life is great. My role at the company is stronger than ever. I'm respected for acting decisively to protect the firm's interests. My apartment is calm, and I've been focusing on work, the gym, and reconnecting with friends I'd sidelined during my time with Madison. I don't see what I did as revenge, not emotionally. It was a risk management issue. I had a reckless employee and a complicit partner. I took the most effective steps to neutralize the threat to my company and my life. Their personal implosion was just the predictable outcome of their bad choices. They gambled with my company's money and my trust, and they lost big.